Oh,
You're
50,000.
just welcome to come. It'll probably be at Diane's house. That's where they are. But I'm gonna name the people that came and helped plan this thing. And some of you are gonna say, well, all I did was show up and eat a piece of cake that Diane had. Well, that's about all I did, but anyway, Donna Dixon, and I'm using our lady's maiden name because that's what I knew you as. That's what our class will know you as. Donna Dixon, William Dunlap, that's before he had his knee replaced. Dot Henry, Judy Huey, you showed up one day, Judy, where was you? Nancy Joe, Sharon Morris, Don Ragsdale, Pat Turner. And let me just give a special thanks, and I hope y'all will join me in a minute. We'll applaud for the whole committee, but for Elaine Davis, who
Did the decoration.
did a lot of this decorating, but she and Diane together, and Diane is the
And
one.
Sharon.
And Sharon. Did I have Sharon? I already said Sharon.
Okay, but she was the three, with the
Anyway,
three Stooges.
They really planned this. Diane has all these meetings at her house, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know if we would have had our 5th, 10th, 15th. Here it is, 50. So y'all help me give them a nice. Later on, Diane's got a program that she put together, a DVD for the class of '62. She told me it took 8 years to do it. I saw it today, this morning, and it'll make you cry. It'll do a lot of things, and so let's clap for that too. You'll see I want to give a special thanks on behalf of our class to Mike Harrington, who is right here. He was a member of the class of '62 for providing this facility for us. We really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
It wasn't in play, did that?
Well, we got it through Mike, and we appreciate that. And I want to say something about an anonymous donor who paid for this. The person, boy or girl, I don't know even who it is. I do know who it is, but I'm not going to say because they don't choose to be, for us to say who they are. But they gave $1,000 to pay for our food and our meal tonight and our festivities, and we really want to appreciate that anonymous donor. So whether that person is here or not, you won't know, but I know. But anyway. Well, let's see, we're getting ready for not a program, but just a few more remarks. You start school when you're 6. You go to school 12 years, and when you get out, you're, what, 18 or so, around 18. And then you snap your fingers, and 50 years have passed. So you got 50 plus 18. Ouch. It's pretty awesome to have 50 years class reunion. And it's so good to see so many of you that are still here to be with us. Elaine Davis gave me a poem that somebody had written, and it's an unknown author, but it talks about when they have their class reunions from about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and on through. And it's pretty lengthy, but let me read it. I'm not a good poem reader, but y'all bear with me. It's called the Class Reunion. Every 2 years, as summertime nears, an announcement arrives in the mail. A reunion is planned. It will really be grand. Make plans to attend without faith. I'll never forget the first time we met. We tried so hard to impress. We drove fancy cars, smoked big cigars, and wore our most elegant dress. It was quite an affair. The whole class was there. It was held at a fancy hotel. We wined and we dined and we acted refined, and everyone thought it was swell. The men all conversed about who had been first to achieve great fortune and fame. Meanwhile, their spouses discussed their fine houses and how beautiful their children had became. The homecoming queen, who once had been lean, now weighed in at 196. The cocks who were there had all lost their hair, and the cheerleaders could no longer do their kicks. Now, I'm going to stop the point for a minute and say, Elaine, where's Elaine? She was the homecoming queen, and she doesn't weigh 196. But one of our jocks is William Seahorse Dunlap, and he has lost his hair back there. Some of his hair. He still got it.
That's a perfect age.
That's right. No one had heard about the class nerd who had guided a spacecraft to the moon, or poor little Jane, who's always been plain. She married a shipping tycoon. The boy we decreed most apt to succeed was serving 10 years in the pen. While the one voted least now was a priest. Just shows you we can be wrong now and then. They awarded a prize to one of the guys who seemed to have aged the least. Another was given to the grad who had driven the farthest to attend this feast. They took a class picture, a curious mixture of beehives. They're talking about hair. Beehives, crew cuts, and wide ties. Tall, short, or skinny, the style was the mini. You never saw so many thighs. At our next get-together, at our next get-together, no one cared whether they impressed the classmates or not. The mood was informal, a whole lot more normal. By this time, we'd all gone to pot. It was held outdoors at the lake shores. We ate hamburgers, coleslaw, and beans, and most of us lay around in the shade in our comfortable T-shirts and jeans. By the 40th year, it was abundantly clear we were definitely over the hill. Those who weren't dead had to crawl out of bed and be home in time for their pills. I'll tell you more than one. Now I can't wait. They've set the date for our 50th is coming, I'm told. It should be a ball. They've rented a hall at the Shady Rest Home of the Old. And Mike, there's one right across the road. Repairs have been made on my hearing aid, and my pacemaker's been turned up on high. My wheelchair is oiled, my teeth have been bald. And I've bought a new wig and a glass eye. I'm feeling quite hearty, and I'm ready to party. I'm going to dance till dawn's early light. Let's see, it'll be lots of fun, and I know I'm just one who will enjoy our 50th reunion.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to Elaine Davis, she gave me that.
That's cool.
Diane asked me to share a memory with y'all of 1962, or at least in the 60s, and she thought maybe it would encourage some of y'all to have some memories and share
Maybe I
with us.
better not leave. What are you fixing to tell?
Well, I got a couple.
You didn't
of
clear this with me, David.
She did ask me to tell a memory, and so I'll tell one of mine, and then if any of you want to tell one that you can remember, by all means do it. See, I had 2 or 3, y'all. Remember which one I want to do. Getting old, can't remember. When I was in the 7th grade, my Aunt Virginia and my wife told me, don't use this one, but I'm going to. Was teaching 7th grade English, and I was in the class. Some of y'all, I'm sure, were in there, and I know Nancy was in there, Flynn, because I had a water gun, and I squirted Nancy with it. Nancy didn't go tell the teacher, but the teacher saw me. The see Ms. Langston in the study hall. Spent the day with her down the next hour down there with her, but the thing I want to tell you is, years later, probably 30, 40 years later, I came and taught at that school, at Olive Branch Middle School, thanks to Mr. Wendell Davis, where Wendell was my principal. And you've heard of these things called permanent record. They always say, permanent record, right, and all that. Well, we as teachers were entering things on students' permanent records, and there was a huge file of them. I told somebody, I want to see what my permanent record said. So I pulled it out. It was in there. And Nancy, there was one card in there, negative, but it wasn't anything positive, but one negative thing, a little index card was put in there and said, this student is highly immature for his age.
That's cute.